I know the winter season just begun here in Central Texas, but it's actually the ideal time to start talking about your HVAC unit or your air conditioning. I'm Sean Clinch, the host of Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast, and our partners and friends at Honest Plumbing and Air. They are the ideal group and set of people who will take care of you, because we all know our summers are long and hot, and if you think your AC unit is on the brink, right now, the winter season is the best time price-wise, because we're all looking for bargains. We're all looking for an idea to fit things into our budget. So give Honest Plumbing and Air a call at the number on your screen, 512-238-2058. Honest Plumbing and Air, where a handshake still means something. Oh, it was heartbreaking in New Orleans for the Longhorn Nation. The Texas football season ends in New Orleans, one win shy of playing for the program's first national championship since, 2005, but playing in a national championship for the first time since post-2009 season. Plus, NFL draft options. Who opted in? Let's talk about it.
Will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood come first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we reach. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side, and now you're gonna be with me for the last ride. Let the light guide your way.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy published an IG story on Tuesday evening, letting everyone know. I mean, I'm sure it was a tough decision, but the young man had nothing else to prove other than possibly team goals. They won the last Big 12 championship as a team. Xavier Worthy has been a key role for Steve Sarkisian and building this program. I know they were off to that great start, pretty quick start in Steve Sarkisian's first year, and then the bottom fell out the second half of the year at the OU game in Dallas. That second half kind of signified falling out, but that was a sign of things to come, because of the talent that Steve Sarkisian built. And Xavier Worthy he's ready. He's ready for the NFL, and those questioning him for his decision, I would reevaluate what you're saying, because that young man has nothing else to prove. One of the best top 5 receivers in the country, if not the best. By the way, before we move forward, I just got to tell you, happy 2024. I hope this year is phenomenal for you, health-wise, family-wise, happiness, and not so much goals, but all of your intentions for the year. I hope you meet them and make this a great year. And I know for some, 2023 was tough, but there's always success found through setbacks. Who else is joining Xavier Worthy in the NFL draft from the Longhorns? Well, there's going to be quite a few, I think, good handful. But I think we all knew that this guy would be one of them, T'Vondre Sweat. That's a guy who has really become a fan favorite, if you will. Really just has really developed on Steve Sarkisian's watch, developed into the key player on the defensive side of the ball, struck a Heisman pose in the Big 12 championship game. He is T'Vondre Sweat, the heart and soul of this team, and he has nothing else to prove, in my opinion. Byron Murphy, another key part of that defense. Not too sure what his intentions are, but I have a feeling that we will find out very soon, because after this Sugar Bowl loss, the semifinals of the CFP, Washington ended the Texas season. And it looked like, to me, if you recall back after the 05 season when Vince Young and that team was playing in the BCS National Championship, USC went up by 12. Then you thought Texas was out, and then they made the comeback, the historic comeback. That's what that night in New Orleans on Monday night looked like. It looked like Texas was getting the breaks, coming back. Quinn Ewers really led the way. And of course, you saw a lot of players make some plays. And all of a sudden, Texas was down by 6. And they get the ball. One of the Huskies is injured. It causes the time to stop. And it looked like things were going the direction of the Longhorns to pull off a monumental, historic come-from-behind win. And they did fall short, but they had their shots there at the end. A lot of people questioning the play calling. I think we all knew they were trying to high point the ball to Adonai Mitchell in the end zone. This is what the Longhorns had to say after that gut-wrenching loss to Washington. And by the way, we'll get into it after hearing from the Longhorns post Sugar Bowl loss.
But every time, for sure. But I didn't do enough.
It's AD. When it's one-on-one, it's more like 80-20 with AD, you know? So, I mean, the DB made a good play, and I'm not looking at him like it was bad for him, you know? But, yeah, it was a good play by the DB, and it was an unfortunate, you know, situation.
I can't be more thankful to these guys for putting me in the opportunity to even play in the Sugar Bowl, you know what I mean? So that's a blessing, and I just wish all the young guys the best of luck. I'll be watching them, and in the locker room, I told them just go be great and go get a natty because I know they got it.
This program is on the rise, man. Just when you get here, do what we couldn't, and that's finish it all the way, get a ring, and put that number up on the stadium.
The whole team's beyond grateful for this opportunity that we had today, and I think we all played our hearts out, and I don't question anybody's effort in that room, in that locker room at all. But I couldn't be more proud of the way that we attacked this year, because I know most of y'all didn't believe that we would be here right now. So, and we're going to continue to just focus on the opinions inside our four walls and continue to build.
And he's right. And I think we all can collectively agree. There were high expectations for this season. A lot to be excited about from the Longhorn fans. And I think the UT coaches also, if you listen to their language beginning last spring, that this type of season, a 12-2 season and a conference championship was possible. That you could question why Texas abandoned the run. They had 180 yards rushing against Washington. Washington couldn't stop the run, could not stop the run. Texas had their way. Texas had their way running the ball. But I think those fumbles, and I think 4 fumbles total in the game, and 2 while carrying the ball, rushing. I think that if you're a coach, put yourself in the coach's shoes. Do you want to risk turning over the ball because of the trend of fumbling, 2 key fumbles running the ball, or just stand behind your guy, your running back room, and try to rally the team, because they also had a deficit to overcome, and thought passing the passing game would get them there. But I'll have to give it to, and I hope you understand when I say this, Washington was the better team in New Orleans Monday night. Texas had their chances to win, there's no doubt. But those DBs, I thought, did a great job. Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback, I think is the best quarterback in the country. 430 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. I mean, one of the main reasons why I think Penix, and I think a lot of people have been saying this, I think Penix, he's making NFL-like throws. I mean, throwing darts into small spaces right where the receiver can only get it, and right in the right space at the right time. But moving forward, I think this team, as they go into the SEC, nothing's guaranteed. I'm not even going to try to predict. I want to see who's coming back, who all stays, who goes to NFL. And I would venture to say Quinn Ewers, according to his language he used, that they're going to try to not rebuild, but build off of what was accomplished this season. But to lighten the spirits up, it was absolutely hilarious. If you caught that little shot, there was some flashing Some good old Bourbon Street boobs, a cutaway of those during the broadcast. I saw this tweet right here. I had to quote tweeter. Misa Jackson said, I didn't expect Nipplegate to start off my 2024 bingo card. Who knew nipples were such a big deal for the entire planet? And of course, I quote tweeted, good old Bourbon Street cutaways and what folks will do for 79 cents a beads. Well, what amazes me about that, and if I remember, I cannot remember if there was a live camera on Bourbon Street. Probably not, but good possibility there was, but I doubt it. But usually those cutaways at locations or cities of that game, those are pre-produced either the night before and put it, and they're placed into the broadcast. But if some boobs made the cut, I'm sure somebody got some production staff member got a talking to, or possibly suspended with pay or without pay. But I hope that wasn't the case. It was hopefully a pure accident. But when I mentioned haters, well, did you notice the one from Johnny Football, the former Texas A&M quarterback? He did make a shout out to Texas in the most negative way. 11/30/24. That's when A&M and Texas will renew their rivalry, and they'll do it in College Station as they did in 2011 when Texas A&M played their last game in the Big 12. Manziel said, we'll see just how back you guys are with the devil. I got to share this with you. If you're a Longhorn fan and you love following soon-to-be Longhorns, how about Trey Owens, the quarterback out of Cy-Fair in the Houston area? His dad and I know each other, and his mother as well. His dad, Joe Owens, and his mother, Christy, were amazing athletes at Stephen F. Austin, where I got my degree, my undergrad degree. Well, Trey Owens, a signee for Texas, grew up a lumberjack and is now going to Texas. But a beautiful story and a fun episode with Joe and Trey. Go check that out on our YouTube or Facebook page. Hey, Happy New Year's again, and I really appreciate you. Happy New Year, excuse me. I don't know why I keep putting a plural on it, but Happy New Year to you and your family and friends. Go and make the best out of it, and just get those intentions, go for it, and continue watching Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube page and like all of our social media platforms. And when in doubt, it's always a great idea to talk about.